Hey everyone, welcome back to another webinar for Aging in Place professionals from the Aging in Place directory website. I want to thank you guys so much for being a part of this directory. I am really working hard to make it grow and to include the items, the services, the resources, and all the information that I possibly can include in it for everyone to help you with your business. So these are marketing webinars. If you've been looking at them, if you've been reading them, viewing them, then you know they're all about marketing, and they're based on my 25 years of internet marketing. So one of the things that I found in working with so many small businesses in internet marketing is that so many of them ignored the benefits of testimonials and reviews. They often felt funny, I'll say, asking for reviews and testimonials. They didn't think that it was that important, that word of mouth was good enough. But these days, with competition being as high as it is, and I think in the aging in place niche, it's only going to get more so, simply because so many people are getting into this niche simply because of the demographics. 10,000 plus people a day turning 65 for many years, and it just makes sense that more and more people will be getting into that niche. So the main purpose of reviews and testimonials is really to build trust. I mean, how many times do you see a product on the news or on TV, or someone tells you about it, or whatever, you see it on your feed and Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, wherever, and I know I do it. I take that name of that product and I go on Amazon to look at the reviews of that product. And 9 out of 10 times, the reviews are not that great. So that tells me that, okay, not only is the company now spending money on advertising this product, but they're doing that because it's not really that great a product. The people who are actually using it and putting their comments on Amazon and reviews are not rating it very high. Hopefully, though, all of those reviews are valid, but it's what we got to go with. So that's basically what the testimonials do for you, and reviews too. They help to create that sense of trust for your business and for your service. And that's why it's so important enough to create a webinar on and to take action on. In aging in place services, most of the time, the decision maker is usually the adult child or a spouse who's, so stressed out over taking care of their spouse, or more often than not, it's a family that is in crisis. And, they're not necessarily shopping around with a clear mind. Okay, I don't know what all that is. They're not shopping, calmly or comparing features on a spreadsheet. They're not taking their time. Most of the time, aging in place professionals are walking in after an event has occurred. And then that is usually when decisions have to be made quickly. My mom is coming from the hospital in a day or two. I need to have this done immediately. And how many times have you heard that? If you've done any aging in place services, you've heard it. I've heard it 100,000 times as an OT working in geriatrics. So what people are really looking for, what this demographic is looking for, is they're looking to trust you. They're looking to know that they're not making a mistake, which can easily be made, because when you try to make a decision when you're emotional, it's as I've said before, it's like trying to make a decision when you're drunk. It's never any good. So seeing, reading, viewing, hearing testimonials. Obviously, if they're getting a testimonial from a friend or a neighbor or a relative, well, that's the best of all worlds, right? But it doesn't always happen that way. So especially in rural areas, I think. But anyway, either way, you want to have as many of these reviews and testimonials on your website, on your social media, on your YouTube video, everywhere, so that you can start building that trust. Because it takes an average of 7 to 11 times for someone to see your name, to see information about you over and over and over again before they buy. Testimonials are not the same as reviews. A review is usually like a short, quick, 1, 2, 3. Yes, this was a great product. Yes, I would buy it again. Yes, this service was very good. They were on time. That was it. A testimonial is more like a story. This is the problem that I had. This is the solution that this person or company gave me. And this is the end result of that solution. It's a story. It's a full-length story. Not a romance story necessarily, but a full-length story. Now, do you need one over the other? No. I personally think that both have their place, both have their time, and it's great to have both. So yes, you definitely want both. Excuse me, you want reviews and you want testimonials. What makes a testimonial powerful, as I said, are those 3 factors. The problem, what is the worry, what is the problem, what is the issue? Your solution to that issue, problem, worry, whatever, your solution. And then the end result. How did the person or persons feel? How did their life change? What occurred afterwards, after the solution was implemented, after you did your work. That is what makes a testimonial very powerful, those 3 pieces. So this is the formula, the simple formula. So when you're asking for a testimonial from someone, even if they are not presenting it in this format or with these 3 sections, there's no reason why you couldn't conduct like a little mini interview of them saying, can you tell me what the problem was before I got here? And they will tell it to you. It could be audio, it could be a video written down. Can you tell me what the experience was? How did we help you? How was my solution for you beneficial for you? The result is, what is the end result of that solution that I presented to you, that we did for you? And even if you're asking for a written, if you give it as a questionnaire with those 3 questions, that is how you get your testimonial. Because if you leave it up to the person, they're really just going to give you a review, not necessarily a full story testimonial. So where do you put these testimonials? I used to have arguments with my clients in internet marketing. Not a lot of them, because the majority of them were with me over 20 years. But every now and then I would get a new client and some clients who just, were with me for a little while, mostly because, they would argue with me about what they thought their websites matter. And I have to tell you that 98% at least of those clients that I worked on, because I just recently looked them up, and they're not in business anymore. And why? Well, because I probably was not the first person that they did not listen to. They probably didn't listen to a lot of people. And when it comes to business, and marketing especially, it's so important to listen. Listen to what others are telling you, because you know your business, but you don't always know how your business is being viewed by others, or even how it's being viewed by the internet, how it's being viewed by AI. You may know what you're saying. It may make perfect sense to you, but if the language is not being translated correctly, then it's not getting to the people that it needs to get to. All right. So where do you put testimonials? You do not put them on a testimonial page. That was the argument that I would have with people. They would want it all on a testimonial page. And I would say, okay, that's fine for excess testimonials. But I personally like to have testimonials throughout a website. So let's say that your company installs grab bars and exterior ramps and I don't know, zero threshold shower stalls, okay, walk-in showers. So if you have a testimonial about grab bars, about a person that you did grab bars on, or a review, then you're going to put that on the grab bar page. And yeah, if you get a new one, then you're going to replace the old one with a new one, because it's always good to refresh. And you're going to do the same for shower installation. You're going to do the same for exterior ramps. You put them wherever it fits the language of the page. There's no point in putting a testimonial about installing residential elevator on a page about landscape gardening and how you made the pathways safer for seniors. That doesn't, one doesn't go with the other. So it doesn't have to be the direct product, but it has to at least be affiliated, associated, somehow. The testimonials, after a time, build authority. Don't think that just because you put in 1 or 2 testimonials, all of a sudden your page is going to be seen as authoritative in the eyes of the engines or even in the eyes of the readers. Yeah, no, that takes time. It could take 6 months. It could take 3 years. Whatever it is, it takes time. But the point is to be consistent, to have a script that you can use, that you can say when you meet your clients. A script that you can say or write that you can give to your clients. Anything at all that you can do to ask for that testimonial. And I'm even now, when I use a service, I almost always now get a response text or an email. How did we do? Can you please tell us how did we do? And those are really more like very short reviews. How many stars would you give us? Did you have any problems? They're not really asking for full-blown testimonials. And these are fairly large companies. So as a small company, which most aging in place service providers are, you have the ability to flex, to change your script every so often to improve it better and better. So I would say, create that script or format however you want to do it. And, send out 2 emails if you like, or 2 texts if you like. Don't do any more than that. I think after that it would get annoying to the client. But hopefully you can get a good amount of testimonials and reviews. It takes a lot. Don't be surprised. The majority of people you send out to and ask, you won't get anything. It's difficult. The best time to ask for the testimonial is right after you've done the job, because if you've done a good job, that is when they are most appreciative of it. So that is always the best time to ask them. So if you can get it then, great. If you can get a video testimonial, that's great, because video testimonials are difficult to get because most people don't want to be on video. I know I hate being on video, but if you can get that, that would be great. If not, at least an audio testimonial. If not, then at least a written one, which is what most people would do, but they're not going to sit there and write it right there in front of you. All 3 types of testimonials are very good. Written testimonials are usually as I said, the easiest to collect if people are going to do them once you walk out the door. Video testimonials are great because you can do them right then and there. And it's got this level of authenticity. And what I love about video testimonials is that you can clip them and then you can put them inside other videos, which I think is great. Audio testimonials are excellent to use on your podcasts, or if you want to include an audio on your website pages. Those are fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. Doesn't have to be a video. It could be a picture of the person and then an audio testimonial of what they are saying. The thing with the video testimonials is if it's a long testimonial or review, you can use clips of it. You can put it through a program called Opus. I think it's Opus Pro or Opus Clip. And you can, and then what it does is it takes an entire video and it cuts it up into shorts. So you can even take a short of a long video and market it on LinkedIn or Facebook or TikTok or wherever. And it's just a great way. Just make sure you get written consent from the person that you're going to be doing this. And it's just a great way to promote your services because the customer themselves are promoting it. The thing not to do is, one, you don't want to sound robotic. You know, if the language sounds robotic, if it sounds like you wrote it yourself, you know, if it just doesn't make much grammatical sense, you want it to be, you also don't want it to be salesy and too polished, because most people don't speak polished in that way. You want it to be as real as possible. You want to try to avoid any industry jargon, as they call it, because most people don't understand your industry jargon. So you want to make it, you want it to have words that people use, because if it's coming from the person, then they're definitely going to be using those phrases and those words. It doesn't make sense to, use specific names of specific products or anything. I mean, you can use the name of the product, but explain what it is. Just try to avoid industry jargon. Testimonials should not really focus on the person. I mean, if the person is the service, yes, you're walking in as an aging in place assessor, you're checking, you're giving them your home assessment. So yeah, you are the person. The service, though, is that plan that you're creating, the checklist that you're creating, that you give to them. That testimonial should be based on that. Of course, they're going to mention you. They're going to talk about you and how maybe kind you were or a good listener or whatever, but it should not be all about you. And exaggerated claims. You don't want reviews and testimonials to sound like they're coming from a used car salesman, where everything is amazing, everything is the best, everything is the greatest, everything, everything, everything. Whenever people use those phrases, this is the greatest, this is the best, this is the most amazing, the most wonderful, blah, blah, that is when you turn around and run away, because they're exaggerating. Whatever it is, they're exaggerating. They're making it much bigger than what it is. And worst of all, they're hiding things that they don't want you to know, because they're hiding it underneath all these amazing words that sound so great, and they're emotional. So yeah, don't ever believe anything when people say that. And even that sounds like I'm exaggerating, because I'm saying don't ever. But it's been proven time and time again, when exaggerated phrases are used, they are emotional phrases, and they tap into you, into your emotional mindset. And if people are smart enough, they walk away from that. So don't use it, because it can turn people off immediately. Using testimonials inside the directory. If you have a full, if you're listening to this webinar, you do have a full page listing on the directory. There is no reason why we can't add a testimonial onto that page, and then you can change it every so often if you want. Already the directory itself is gaining about 20%. It's increasing in traffic about 20% a month. And every time new traffic comes in, it gets marketed out to other people as well, because it's very shareable. So as more people look at your pages and look for your services, having testimonials on those pages is an excellent tool. And don't forget to update them. Repurposing. I know I did another webinar on repurposing content, and reviews and testimonials are the same. As I said, you can take a full video testimonial, break it up using Opus Clip, and then use those little clips as basically like a little ad on LinkedIn, on your any other social media, on your website. You can use testimonials when you are interviewed for a podcast, when you're doing a sales call, when you're providing proposals, anything at all. In your email signature, you can put a little blurb, just a short one-line sentence, a blurb by a testimonial or a review. It helps people to understand that, hey, this person is getting some trust. And yeah, you're not going to get everybody to follow you on that, but the point is that it does help to build that trust. And I will tell you, years ago on internet marketing, it used to be that you could put reviews and testimonials on your website pages, and that gave you a lot of kudos. But then the engines got really smart because they realized, well, wait a minute, people can write anything and say anything they want. So then they switched over to third-party testimonials. So when you get a review or a testimonial from a third party like Google or Yelp or another website like the Aging in Place directory, and it links back, of course, to your website, then that is more authoritative than having testimonials and reviews on your own website. So that's very important. And again, I just wanted to reiterate, for video testimonials, use opus.pro, which is Opus Clip, a lot of people call it, to create shorts out of a longer video. It's really a great tool. Do not expect, as I said before, for testimonials and reviews to propel you to the stratosphere right away. No, it takes time. You want to start collecting your testimonials, and then year 2, let's say, your collection keeps growing, referrals increase. Year 3, hopefully you don't have to go to internet marketing, marketing groups anymore, like Chamber of Commerce and business networking. That's what I was thinking of, business networking groups. The testimonials and the reviews that you are gathering, that are being gathered about you on other sites and pointing back to you, they're doing the work. And then it just keeps building up from there. And then before you know it, you'll have people asking you, would you like to, be on our video? Would you like to be on our podcast? We would like to promote you, for this product, for that product, whatever. That's usually how it goes, but it usually takes the average length of time for online businesses to succeed is usually 3 years. So don't quit before, unless you have to, of course, but try not to quit before that 3-year mark, or 3.5 years. Don't wait for things to start. Don't say, okay, I'm going to start this next summer, or I'm going to start this in 4 months. No, why? It doesn't make any sense. Contact 3 past clients that you worked with. Send them a questionnaire, those 3 points. What was the problem that you called us for? What was the solution that we provided for you? And what was the end result of that solution? That's it. That's all you need. They can give you an audio, a video, or a written. Ask for that feedback and then display it. Put it where you need to put it. Put it on the appropriate page on your site. Display it on social media. Do a little video about it if you want. Whatever. Just make sure that you get it out there in multiple ways, because you have that option. Never have so many people been able to do so much with so little these days, because you don't have to pay an ad agency to do all this out, to put all this out. Testimonials quietly tell families who are obviously worried that they're not alone. Other people are also going through the same thing, especially when you can connect the testimonial with a specific issue, like a stroke or a chronic illness of some kind or whatever. It's almost as if the reader is walking into a support group, realizing, oh yeah, like this person had the exact same thing with their father, and they did this, and they did this, and it resulted in that. That's great. I think I like that. I'm going to talk to them. That's real authority. It's not about your credentials. It's not about how long your business has been around. I mean, all those things are great, but they are just a piece of the puzzle. The reviews and testimonials are the other main piece that can really help to build and grow your business. All right, I hope that this webinar was useful. Again, there's a form down below. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. If you have any questions about it, I'm more than happy to help you. And I guess I'll see you next time. Take care.